You know, part of the joy of anime is not knowing what you're getting into sometimes. I had this little pleasure with Price of Smiles last season, with its description telling me fuck all about the series. And this show is sort of hitting that too. I came in with zero expectations and that let the series surprise me. With some excellent character relationships, homoerotic undertones, and the thrilling adventures of space public relations and tourism. So let's look at the question, is RobiHachi good? This show had a great start, immediately setting the tone for the humor with its climax and establishing the relationship dynamics between the main cast. Starring Robbie, our typical unlucky space jock, always looking for a quick way to make a buck and impress some girls. But at his core, he's somewhat of a decent person, which keeps him likable for the audience, evading the mob for a debt he owes. His sidekick is Hachi, a straight-laced, naive sort of genius that's bored with his life on Earth, but endlessly amazed by the aliens he meets, and by space in general. He ends up getting dragged along with Robbie as he flees into space while trying to collect a debt he owes. Finally, there's a grounded robot whose sole purpose seems to be to keep the two on track and smack them with a dose of reality from time to time. And did I mention he's a rabbit? Part of what keeps this cast interesting is how they play off one another. Since Robbie and Hachi have different interests and are prone to getting carried away in different ways, they're able to be the voice of reason for one another, leading to some great banter. Then there's the mobsters that are chasing after the two, Yang and his gang. Yang's initially presented as an intimidating boss, but quickly you learn he has an unhealthy obsession with Robbie in particular, and even with that subtext, this is still only the second gayest anime out this season, dragging his subordinates halfway across the galaxy chasing after that debt. It would be easy to make them creepy or just evil for the sake of it, but the three of them often get swept up in whatever planet they visit's tourist trap. It makes them fun to watch too, since Yang's dead-on theatrical delivery contrasts great with the situations he ends up in. So if you're looking for action-packed space battles and harrowing tales, this won't deliver on that. In fact, the series nips that in the bud pretty early on by introducing a secret massive combining mech on board the ship that Robbie has, that functions like a prop from an anime. This thing's busted out and is quickly the focus of jokes, with its killer move being a dud, and later its uses either solve nothing or end up damaging it, which feels like a parody of old school mecha shows in the 80s, where the robot is called to fight a battle and win the day. Here it just ends up as a punchline, which I think is great, for subversion mostly, but the lambasting of an entire genre feels like icing on the cake here. Rather, the show focuses on the planets they arrive at, the alien culture, and how Robbie and Hachi react, or eventually impact it. The end goal is to get to an overhyped vacation destination that even the characters are skeptical about, since they constantly see a vague commercial for it, which must mean it's struggling since it's just a jingle. There's quite a bit from this show that focuses on marketing and tourism. Like how much bluster a place puts on certain food items and attractions, leading to some great comedy when the man behind the curtain is revealed, so to speak. Between flat-out lies and struggling to gain a piece of the tourism pie, it leaves the series with a calm, laid-back feel, with two friends just exploring the galaxy, happening upon some mini, low-stakes misadventures, and having fun in the process, which leaves me, as the viewer, having fun with them. Plus, there's just a beautiful throwback aesthetic borrowing heavily from the 80s. The anime's logo looks straight up ripped from that decade. The character designs carry that too, with Yang's flamboyant hair and his goon's amazing afro. The hyper-capitalist theme where every system runs on its own currency and is desperate to get income from those passing by is a neat throwback I'm finding myself appreciating in a nostalgic sense. Robbie's outfit, attitude, and the like all scream period piece, invoking movies and protagonists from that decade. And don't think I'm against that in the slightest, since most shows out this season are purely modern. I think the angle they're going for here is what makes this one stand out, aside from it being one of the few sci-fi shows out this season. And I just find that this whole package works together. When you look at the buddy dynamic of Robi's unlucky streak crashing with Hachi's naivete, getting thrown into tourist traps on their road trip through the Milky Way, happening into money just to quickly blow it, it's a charming little romp that occasionally dips into mech battles, subversive mobster plots, and hinting at some sort of conspiracy with Robi's parents. So, is RobiHachi good? Well, that depends. If you're looking for something reminiscent of Space Dandy on a budget that delivers laughs through a consistent straight man routine, cringe comedy, absurd situations, and a subtle layer of ironic awareness, I think you'll enjoy this one as much as I have. But if you came here looking for an action series with the fate of the universe in the balance, I'll say you'll be disappointed. But I'd still recommend it if you're willing to give a space comedy show a shot, because all things considered, this anime's decent. Plus, Yang's totally got the hots for Robi, and I need me some more of that. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the other YouTube stuff, because that really helps me out. Thanks for watching.